Yo, what's going on, man? Today is January the 28th, 2023. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. Real quick show. This is not going to be a long show at all. So I'm going to go through, drop off a couple looks that I'm looking at. Anybody got looks, try to keep it 30 seconds, explanation, and we're going to get up out of here. This is going to be a super quick show, man. I got about 25 minutes, 7 o'clock Eastern time. I got to get off here, but I did do some work on the card. It's a busy day, so of course, different timing. So let's go ahead and jump into it, man. Had a really good day yesterday. No time for a recap, but we'll just jump right into the show for today. And if you guys got looks, go ahead and send me requests, and I'll get as many people up as I can. But it is a hard cutoff time right at 7 o'clock today. So Rockets and the Pistons first game, not a game I'm extremely interested at all, man. It's gonna be a tank fest, I think. The Rockets are without their three most prominent scorers. Sengun just got listed as out with an illness. Kevin Porter Jr. is also out, and Jalen Green is also out with a calf injury. This team is not trying to win games. They're 1-9 straight up and against the spread in the last 10. Detroit been playing a little bit better, but not a team you really want to trust either. The spread is up to 6 now with the news that Sengun is also listed it out. So the Rockets really trying to throw this one. Somebody on the Rockets got to score the ball though. I'm not sure who it's going to be, but there will be value on the Rockets side. The Pistons, I talked about this the other day. They play at a really fast pace. Their pace was actually first in the NBA over the last, I think it was 3 games going into the game with the Brooklyn Nets on 2 nights ago. And I think now their pace is third in the NBA. So definitely some. Definitely some pace in this game. Definitely some pace in this game. I think you just got to figure out how you want to play. I'm not laying points with the Pistons though at home, even though that's the only way I would be able to look. I think Bogdanovich for Detroit is a guy that I would look at, specifically targeting his threes, but nothing heavy on this game. I don't really like the game, even though it's 2 poor teams with 2 poor defenses. I was initially looking to the first half over at 121.5 because both of these teams don't play too much offense in the second half. But with Sengun listed as out, I'm off of that. So no official play for me in that game. Bulls versus the Magic. I think everybody knows the narrative of Wendell Carter Jr. versus his old team. So I think I got Wendell Carter Jr. over his 25.5. I would take his points plus rebounds in this one. Going up against Vucevic on the opposite end. Vucevic is going against his old team as well. So I'm not sure how people want to play that. Of course, the Magic on the second night of a back-to-back. They did lose last night, but we cashed on the plus 7.5. Now they're home dogs catching 2.5 today. And Chicago is 0-6 against the spread and straight up as a road favorite this year. So just came off a game where they couldn't cash against the Charlotte Hornets, and they've been that team. So no way I could put my money on Chicago in that spot today. I'm not catching that falling knife, even though they have the potential to win this game. I can't do it though. For me, it's Magic and nothing plus the 2.5. I think it's a winnable game for them here at home. They're also only 3.5 games out of the 10th spot for the play-in tournament in this game. So we know that the Magic give up a lot of threes, so maybe a look towards Zach LaVine threes to go over because you don't really do too much scoring on the Magic inside the paint. So that's how I'll be looking to play that game. Wendell Carter Jr. over his 25.5 points plus rebounds, and a look towards the Orlando Magic to cover the spread in that one. So that's what I got for you guys there. Moving along to the Clippers and the Hawks. So total in this one, and I see that I spelled total wrong. Total in this one is 232, and this game is at a pick, which means that you really just pick the winner on the money line. If you feel confident in that team. The Clippers are playing some really good basketball right now. 6-4 in their last 10, 5-5 against the spread. They do have some wins against. They just beat the Clippers, just beat the Spurs, beat the Lakers as well, and then they beat the Spurs as well too. So offense, I think it's top. I think it's actually first. They're the first. They have the highest offensive efficiency over the last 5 games. So 2 wins against San Antonio, win against Dallas, and against the Lakers. Team is 3-0 straight up and against the spread, even covered that 13 number at home. Now you get them first game on the road. They do play. This is the first night of a back-to-back. They play the Clippers. They play the Cleveland Cavaliers tomorrow when the Cleveland Cavaliers return to Cleveland off that road trip that they were on recently. So first night of a back-to-back. I think to me this one screams over. The Clippers typically go over their points totals in in these road games, but because it's the first night of a back-to-back, I think they probably try to save something for Cleveland. They did beat Cleveland already, and it's a non-conference game. Both of these games, of course, are non-conference games, but I don't really have a really strong look on this one. The Atlanta Hawks are, pretty much Jekyll and Hyde. They're up and down. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, but then you lose to the Bulls. You lose to Charlotte, before you started the win. I can't figure this team out. I will say that if I had to make a play in this one, I would be looking at the Clippers. I think the Clippers can get the job done today. PG and Kawhi have been balling recently, and I don't see any defense on that team that slows these guys down. I think they can pretty much get whatever it is that they want. And when it comes down to the fourth quarter, if it's a close game, I anticipate the Clippers to be able to get a stop before Atlanta gets a stop. So that's the way I would play that one. But I don't have anything official in that one. I'll be looking towards the Clippers in that game. Next game I want to touch on real quick is the Pelicans and the Wizards. Not a lot in this one either. Pelicans in desperation mode right now. They do get Brandon Ingram did come back in that last game. This team's 2-8 straight up in their last 10. Only 4-6 against the spread as well. They are 14-11 at home. And it's Washington Wizards team. They haven't lost a game since Bradley Beal came back. Four games in a row they've won. Beat the Knicks, beat the Magic, beat the Dallas Mavericks on the road, and the Houston Rockets. So, one of those they had a road game, a home game, and now they're starting a road trip, 5-game road trip. This is the third game of their road trip. They play the San Antonio Spurs on Monday. So, Wizards kind of balling right now. They'll be without Porzingis, but they just won a game without him against the Houston Rockets. They did struggle, however, in that game. It wasn't until the fourth quarter where the Rockets went into tank mode that they started to, they couldn't score the ball anymore. So I'll be looking towards the Pelicans. I think Pelicans early in that game as well. Brandon Ingram looked a little sloppy, which I think we could expect that in his last game. But I think he played better than I expect him to anyway. He had 13 points on 4 for 18 shooting, 0 for 6 from 3, 5 rebounds and 5 assists. So with 4 turnovers. To me, this is a really, really difficult game to cap. I think I lean Pelicans just because it is a desperation spot. This team has lost, 6 games in a row, and they're starting to cover spreads in certain spots. But, this is the third game before they go out on the road and actually play against the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow. So not the greatest spot for them, but I would be looking towards them. The way that you beat the Wizards is typically through either a really, really good guard or a really, really good big man. And they do have Valanciunas. Somebody like Daniel Gafford could absolutely be barbecue chicken tonight. Maybe a look towards CJ McCollum assists over as well, but not a game that I'm really strong on as well. The Pelicans, the line is moving towards the Pelicans. The spread's up to, I think it opened at 4, and I saw it go to 4.5, and now it's up to 5. So I think it's kind of telling that one of these teams on a 4-game win streak, the other team is on a 6-game losing streak, and the team that's on the 6-game losing streak is the team that's favored. To me, I think Vegas is telling us a story there. Also, you look at the head-to-head matchup. New Orleans did beat this team by 20 points in DC. So, take it for what it's worth. Of course, there is still no Zion Williamson, but Ingram being back, I think, is a big piece for this team. So that's what I got for you guys there. Not an official play for me. Kings and the Timberwolves, however, I do like this game. I like this game a lot. So, I like this spot. It's more of a spot play. I feel like the spot plays are, the ones that I typically gravitate towards the most because I can find the most information on. Doing my research on this game, man, the Kings are coming off the loss to the Toronto Raptors the other day. Only scored 98 points in that game. That was the last game, I think, of a 5-game homestand for the Toronto Raptors as well. Where's the game at? Now you get them on the road. The spread's moved in their favor of 3 points, and I like the Kings in this spot, man. They're 7-3 against the spread, 6-3-1, 7-3 straight up, 6-3-1 against the spread in their last 10. The Timberwolves have been absolutely balling. So glad I didn't fade them last night. 6-4 straight up and 6-4 against the spread as well. But I think it's a flat spot for them. This Timberwolves team will be playing their third game in 4 nights. Really, really big win motivational wise for in that game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm sorry, in that game against the Memphis Grizzlies. Also got a big win against the New Orleans Pelicans as well. But I just don't like the spot for them. I don't like the spot for them at all. One thing I looked at was I think teams coming off a win as a home dog, because typically teams that win games as home dogs have to exert a lot of energy in that spot if you're the dog. So I looked at teams coming off previous wins where they were the home dog with no rest against an opponent that's also coming off a loss with more rest. And the trend tells me to take the Sacramento Kings in this spot. Also tells me that this game's gonna go under. So 2 plays in this game for me. I'm on the under 238, and I'm also, and the total is dropping from 240 down to 238. I'm on the under 238. I'm also taking the Kings minus the 3 in this one. So 2 official plays for me in this game. And those are the ones that I like the most. No real props. Didn't really look at anything too much. I noticed they did have some guys that were listed as questionable. So if you like it, you might want to take it before those guys get ruled out. Rudy Gobert is listed as questionable. Taurean Prince already listed as out, and Anthony Edwards also listed as questionable with the wrist injury. So and the Kings got a clean injury report on their side. They also don't have another game until they play the Minnesota Timberwolves again on Monday in Minnesota. So 2 of those like kind of back-to-back games. So that's what I got for you guys there. Suns and the Spurs, really difficult game to cap. You get one team that plays pretty, really good defense. I think Phoenix is top 3 defensively last 5 games. They really kind of locked in on that, in that area to, start to win games. They're 5-5 straight up and 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 games. They are on the first game of a road trip. In the first game after a 5-game homestand. San Antonio's coming back home. This team has struggled recently, 1-9 straight up, only 5-5 against the spread. They have been covering spreads. They failed to cover 3 spreads in a row against the Blazers, the Lakers, and the Clippers. And I know that they still have some guys that was on the injury list, which makes this game extremely difficult to cap because without Josh Richardson, who provides a lot of the offense, Romeo Langford, who does a little bit on both ends, and Jeremy Socon, who also provides a lot of the defense, is really, really difficult to even look towards this Spurs team to even take them to score, right? Because they against the Clippers, they only scored 100 points. The Suns team is playing a lot of defense as well. I wanted to get there towards the over. I didn't get there because I'm waiting on the injury status of these 3 guys. If all of those guys are in, I like the over because I think the Spurs can score. If all of those guys are out, it's probably going to be no play for me. I do think the Suns could cover this short spread, even though they are on the road. They will continue to be without Campaign, Devin Booker, and Landry Shamet in this spot. But I think that they could win this game. They also, looking ahead for them, they have a game back home against the Toronto Raptors. So they'll be back home for the Raptors and the Atlanta Hawks, but that game isn't until Monday. Also coming off a loss against the Dallas Mavericks. So, teams overlook the San Antonio Spurs at times, but I think they can get it done. And win this game by the short margin of 5 points if those guys are not in. If those guys are not in. If those guys are in, I like the over. So Spurs also typically bounce back after losing by 30 points, 20 points, any of that. So that's where I'm at with this game. Not a lot of player props that I like. Couldn't talk anybody off of Aiden. I think I wrote Aiden points plus rebounds down. He cleared that in the last game. I remember taking it. I think it was 21.5, 22. I think he had it in the third quarter. I think Jakob Poeltl didn't play in that game either. Jakob Poeltl is the better perimeter defender, but if Aiden gets to cooking, man, it's nothing that nobody could do with him, long as he's locked in and motivated in this spot. So I would lean towards Aiden over his points plus rebounds. And if, like I said, if all those guys are in, I think the Phoenix Suns get to their team total, and I think the game goes over the total as well. But I'm not playing anything until I get the confirmation on that. The game starts at 8 o'clock, so it's about an hour and 10 minutes away. Next game up, Lakers and the Celtics. So LA traveling cross country to take on the Boston Celtics. First game of a nice little road trip, at least 4 games. They play in Brooklyn on Monday against Kyrie and the boys, and then they get Julius Randle to follow on Tuesday at the Garden. So first game after a 2-game homestand, they did lose to the Clippers, beat San Antonio by 9 points, and Anthony Davis returned. They will have AD today, and that's where I'm going. I like AD in this matchup, man. I also don't think the Lakers going to lose this game by, I think the spread was all the way up to 9. I know that Boston has been struggling recently, and it feels like a get-right spot for them. I totally understand. Maybe Boston on the first quarter, but the Lakers have been playing defense, and they also been playing a lot of defense when they're away dogs. I've talked about it recently on the show. So AD points is at 20.5. I like it. I think it eventually goes back up. Robert Williams also listed as questionable, got downgraded to questionable. AD rebounds listed at 9.5. I like it. AD points listed at 20.5. I do think that AD points are going to be back up to about 25, 26, 27.5 in about a week or two. Because I think that he looks like he's in pretty good form already to me. Boston doesn't have a really solid defender that's going to be able to guard him. Al Horford's like 103 years old. I love Al Horford, but he's about 103 years old. He can't guard AD. Not right now, even in his second game back. Marcus Smart's also listed as out in this game. Of course, he's out with the ankle injury. Lonnie Walker is listed as questionable. I think I read some reports in the game on Friday said that, excuse me, in the game on Thursday said that he'd be making his return really, really soon. And I do expect LeBron to play in this game as well. On the opposite side, like I said, I like AD. I think the Lakers cover the spread of +9. And I also look at Tatum, man. Tatum has balled against the Lakers. He's played really, really well against the Lakers. I was actually looking at his points plus rebounds. And I mean, PRA probably a good look as well, but his points plus rebounds at 40.5. I think he's cleared at 3 of 4 games against the Lakers, since they've turned into this version of the Boston Celtics. So I'd be looking towards Tatum props in this game. Lakers are 1-6-1 against the spread in the last 8 meetings with these two teams, and only 1-4 against the spread in Boston. But I think AD missed a few of those games. So I think AD comes back and asserts his dominance in this one. The Celtics also a bottom 10 rebounding team over the last 5-10 games as well. So Lakers not a great rebounding team either, but they did get AD back, which is going to help in that area. So AD over 9.5 rebounds, give them to me. AD over over 29.5 points plus rebounds, give me that as well. Both of those are official plays for me. I took both. I took AD 10 not over 9.5 rebounds. I also took his points plus rebounds at 29.5 as well. I think AD shows up today. Yeah. That's what I'm on today. That's what we on, baby. So and then like I said, I'd be looking at Tatum, but I didn't play Tatum. Did not play Tatum in this spot. And those are the games that I really wanted to talk about. The Mavs and the Jazz game, not a game I'm really interested in. Of course, no Luka Doncic on one side. Spread has come down to Utah -7.5. I think, based on pace, and this is going to sound crazy, but based on pace, based on the spread, to me, it kind of indicates that if and money coming in on Utah in this spot to bring the spread down from 8 down to 7.5, I think Utah, I think the game goes under is what I think. Utah as a home favorite, they don't do well in that spot, but just looking at their last 5 or 6 games, I think they're 6-0 to the under in this spot as a home favorite. The Dallas Mavericks don't typically score the ball. I think in 7 games without Luka this season, they're only averaging about 107 points per game. So I like this game to go under, man. I don't think that they score a lot of points in this spot. If Dallas is going to keep the game close, they're only going to be able to do it with their defense. I don't think they have enough offense without Christian Wood and without Luka Doncic. So I'll be looking towards the under in this spot. Spencer Dinwiddie points, definitely in play. Utah don't have a guard that can really stop anybody, but I still be looking towards the under. I think, I think Dallas can keep the game close, and if they do, I think it goes under. So in my head, that all makes sense. I hope it makes sense to you guys as well. Couldn't talk anybody off Lori marketing props. Dude is been out on an absolute tear recently, but nothing that I'm official on with the Utah Jazz. Last game up, Toronto and Portland. Not another game I'm not extremely interested in. This is a Portland spot. I think that's why the line did shift from 4.5 to 5. Toronto has been playing well, man. They almost got there with Golden State last night. Just kind of the offense kind of tailed off in the fourth quarter, and they weren't able to cover that spread. But they are 5-5 straight up, 6-4 against the spread in their last 10. They got a really, really big win against the Sacramento Kings, but now you catch them in a really difficult spot. So this is the second night of a back-to-back and a third game in 4 nights for them as well, with road-to-road travel. Third game, I think, of the 3-game road trip as well. It might be the fourth game of their road trip. Portland on the opposite side, not a team I can trust right now. Still can't trust them. They are 4-6 in their last 10, 4-6 against the spread, and straight up 14-9 at home. Excuse me. What doesn't bode well, and in Toronto, they this is the third game of road trip. They got a long way to go. They play Phoenix on Monday, and then they got to go to Utah and then go to Houston before they finish up this road trip. The Portland Trailblazers have been at the crib for 4 straight games. They started it off with a loss against Philly. They lost to the Lakers, then they beat San Antonio, and they beat Utah in back-to-back games. Covered both of those spreads, but I don't feel like I still want to be able to lay points with them. So not something that I'm doing quite yet, but I think Portland could win this game. I think they should be able to cover the spread. One thing I looked at that was noticeable to me was and I'm gonna shut up because we got about 5 minutes left. So if you guys got requests and want to share plays, let me know. Send me requests, I'll get people up. But one thing that stood out to me was the Toronto Raptors 3-point defense has been absolutely trash. Last 5 games, I know they've been playing against teams that shoot the three, but Portland has guys that can also shoot the three. So you just come off a game against Sacramento, and you did a pretty good job of defending the 3-point line. But Golden State last night lit them up. They're bottom 5 in both 3-point. They're giving up the most threes, not even bottom 5. Giving up the most threes. I think it was like 15 a game in their last 5 games. They're also allowing teams to shoot, one of the top 5 best percentages as well from the 3-point line. So I'd be looking at 3-point props. I like Anthony Simons in this game. Earlier, his threes were listed at 3.5 for plus 130, and 5 was plus 300. Didn't play either one of them, but both of those are sitting in my best slip right now. And let me see. And I do think Dame could continue to keep it going as well. Dame assists, I think, is also in play just because the Toronto Raptors are on the second night of a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights, and Toronto's allowing the most assists, just the teams in general over the last 5 games as well. So I expect them to not be able to keep up. Maybe it's the second half where the game kind of gets out of hand, but I do expect Toronto to kind of fall flat on their faces. It's set up to be a scheduled loss for the Toronto Raptors in this spot. But Portland, they have lapses where they don't play a lot of defense. So one of the reasons why I'm not taking the spread, but it'd be Portland or nothing for me in this spot. Revenge game for the Raptors. Portland did go to Toronto and beat them. And Damian Lillard cleared his assist line in that game as well. One of the reasons why I like his assists. I think his double-double could be in play tonight, but nothing that I went official on. I do like Anthony Simons a lot, but I didn't play him officially either. Just kind of contemplating and going back and forth in my head there. So that's what I'm on today. It's about it's 6:57. So if anybody got looks they want to share real quick, send me requests. 8 o'clock is the hard cutoff time that I have for today, though, unfortunately. But I do want to hear from people. Cam, what's going on, my guy? How you doing, man?
Yo, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. What's going on, Cam?
I'm chilling, man. You nailed the Raptors game. We're gonna get smoked. If you watched the Golden State game last night, we left it all on the floor. The game was a track meet. If you're gonna bet that game, it should be against the Raptors. And I am taking Anthony Simons threes over 3.5 plus 138 because I'm gonna watch the game. We're gonna lose, so I want to at least win some money. And I do think Anthony Simons threes are live. I also, for the game coming up, I'm on Jaden Ivey for PPD plus 124 and a win. So 15 points and a win plus 124. So I'm going to get off here because my dog's freaking.
No, you good. Who was that, Cam? Who was the last play?
So it's Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey, okay. Okay.
Some people walking by.
Okay.
Jaden Ivey and a 15 points and a win. So he's hit 15 points in the last he's hit 15 points in the last 5 or 7 games, the last 3 or 4. Honestly, I can't they both suck. Both these teams suck, but I just cannot see how Detroit loses this game with everybody out for Houston. They're trying so hard to lose this game. So I just did my best to make sure I found a prop that I like to pair it up with a win. So Jaden Ivey, 15 points and a win is plus 124. You can get 16 points in the win, which is plus 138, but I just played it safe.
Got you. Okay, Jaden Ivey. I couldn't talk you off of that. One thing I looked at real quick, Cam, I just looked at teams that played the Warriors in their last game, and they're on the second night of a back-to-back and the third game in 4 nights, and they're away dogs. Those teams are 0-6 straight up, but they are 3-3 against the spread. So you got the Pistons who played against the Bucks in the next game. They lost, but did cover the spread. They were catching 13.5 though. The Pelicans lost in this spot to the Hawks, didn't cover the spread. The Jazz lost to the Suns, but did cover the spread. They lost by 1. They were catching 6 in that spot. The Timberwolves lost to the Wizards, and didn't cover the spread. The Raptors lost to the Sixers, and I should have put. Let's see. Hold on. And away dogs and previous away. Hold on. I just want to. And previous was away as well. So yeah, teams are getting smacked up, like you said, Cam. So it's only happened twice where a team has played against the Warriors the night before, don't have any rest, and they're on the third game in 4 nights. They're an away dog, and yeah, both teams, the Jazz got smacked up by the Suns, and the Suns got smacked up by the Nuggets in the same spot. So should be a Trailblazer spot tonight. 15 points is the gap between both of these games. Should be a spot tonight to back the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, man, and I'm a fan, but from what I saw last night, I just don't see us being able to stick with them. Like, even if you want to all credit, I could see this being one of those games where Nick Nurse calls it early. He doesn't do it often, but if we go down early, I don't see him running the guys into the ground too high. He does normally, but this game is just like after last night, we were hands on shorts by like the fourth quarter. It was a wrap. We stuck in it, but we were a dead team, so it's a Portland spot.
Right. Okay. No, I think so too. I definitely think so. Couldn't talk anybody off taking Portland. Even if the Raptors are keeping it close at halftime, maybe you take them. Maybe you take the Trailblazers live. Appreciate you, Can. Hope you cashed the Anthony Simons. The only way I could look as well. Henneman, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What up, big dog? I'm doing all right, man. You doing good?
Yeah, I'm straight, man. What's going on? What you on today? What's the word?
So Jalen Duren, his points and rebounds, they sitting real pretty. Isaiah Stewart came back, and I don't know what's really going on with their rotation lately, but he should definitely cover that 21.5, or his rebounds straight up at the 10. Should be free as hell.
Okay, so Duren, either his points plus
his assists have been on fire. Go ahead.
No. Keep going. You have broke up. Keep going.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I'll say it one more time. Jalen Duren, his points and rebounds at 21.5. Also, just his rebounds at 10. He's killing the boards, and in this spot, I definitely think he sees the floor a lot too. I know he's only been back for a couple of games, so I don't know really what's been going on the last 2 games. But Ivy's assist as well over the 5.5 mark should be absolutely freaking free. He's averaging 7 over his last 5, and I actually kind of like homeboy who was just on with the 15 points and the win. Like you said, he's had his points like crazy as well too. You already talked about I'm trying to hurry up because you said that you didn't have a lot of time. On that Atlanta Hawks and Clippers game, Trae Young's 9.5 assists. He's averaging 10.8 a game. I'm definitely taking that as well. And then Paul George over the 5.5. When they played the Spurs, I noticed that Ty he let Paul George. He let Paul George finish the game out. I don't know if that's about him just trying to get his legs back up under him more. But Kawhi sat on the bench late in that game, and Paul George finished it out. And I definitely like that look as well. But I think that's all I got for you.
Okay. Hey, best of luck, Henneman. I hope you cash him, bro.
For sure.
Definitely hope you cash them. So some of these games are actually about to get started right in about 6 or 7 minutes. So what I got for you guys, top looks in these games. So I'll just go through all of them real quick and let you guys know what I'm on. Let me go back to the eye screen. Official plays. I am on I'm on AD. I took his rebounds over 9.5, and I took his points plus rebounds over 29.5. Those 2 official plays in that game. Also the Kings. That's the game I like the most. The Kings -3 and the under 238. Those are the official 4 plays that I'm going to lock in. I haven't even placed those yet. The other strongest plays for today are the Suns and the Spurs to go over, as long as those guys, the 3 guys, are ruled in for the San Antonio Spurs that I talked about. Romeo Langford, Jeremy Socon, and who was the other guy? Whoever the other guy was. So those three guys, I need those three guys in. Josh Richardson, because he's the offensive guy, right? He's the one that scores the points. So need those three guys to be in. I'm gonna take the over. I got some money on the net, so I need them to cash. Also, I've tweeted out Seth Ladder. He hasn't even shot a three. I don't know what's going on with that, but hopefully he can get the cooking in the second half. And then the Clippers and the Hawks. I think that one goes over. Hawks not playing any defense, and the Clippers go over on the road. So like the over in that spot, but didn't play it. And B points, I talked about. Well, that game's over. That cashed. I had that written down. Magic plus 2.5, like as well. Wendell Carter Jr. over his 25.5 points plus rebounds as well. Excuse me. And Simons over 3.5 threes. I really like the spot for him as well. Jaylen Brown, his rebounds are at 6.5. I think that's a tad bit too low as well, especially if Robert Williams gets ruled out. He'll get more rebound opportunities. Also talked about Tatum over his 40.5 points plus rebounds in that spot. So that's what I got for you guys, man. If you guys are watching on YouTube, hit the like button for me if you can. Retweet the show, all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys. Best of luck to everybody. I might be back tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. Just follow my timeline, man. Best of luck, everybody. Tonight, I'm out.